What's up, beautiful people? I hope you have been taking good care of yourselves. So, today I want us to talk about growth after stagnation. Now, what do I mean by this? Let me first give you a brief story of how I started in real estate and how I felt after a certain point that has brought up this topic today. So, the first month I got into real estate, I was very broke. I remember I was very, like, when you say you're broke, I mean like you have nothing, not a single cent. Like the first time I remember going for that interview because I was working for a certain company there. I remember telling was it the CEO or the manager? I don't remember who was doing the interview. I remember telling her I don't even have money for credit, like money to even make phone calls. I don't have that. But I know I can do this. I've never sold a house before. I've never done anything to do with real estate. But I know I have a feeling I can do this. Just give me a platform. Just the only thing I just wanted. So the first week, remember I was just learning about what exactly they were selling, trying to understand it. And then the second week, I remember now things got a bit serious because now I was still broke. Guys were coming in with checks every single day. Like I remember this lady, Beryl. Remember her, Beryl. Remember her coming with a check of about close to $1 million, man. And I look at it, I'm like, so you just met somebody who's just given you a check out of nowhere. I was fascinated, man. I was fascinated by that. And I did the maths and the calculations for how much commission that was. At the time, for me, that was a lot of money, man. I had never seen that before. I'd never seen somebody come up to me with a check like that, let alone money. So I told myself, I'm going to be the best that month. So that second week, I remember I've never called so many people. I think I should actually do that again because I've never called so many people in a day, every single day, for like 3 weeks. Because I remember any client who would come in, any caller would come in, any contact list that I was given, I would call those people like 2 times every single morning. Every single day. I didn't care whether it was on a Saturday, Sunday. I didn't even respect the rules of selling. It was a Sunday, I'll call you. And the first month I made about around 130,000 Kenya shillings from being flat broke to making 100 G's immediately. Like I looked at it, I was like, I ain't stopping this. I'm not doing this. But I think the main motivation was looking at it now, or the main motivation was I was really tired of where I was at the time in my life. I was really tired of so many things and I just wanted out. And the best way I could do it was this job. Now, the reason I've given you that story is most of you right now are in business are doing quite well. Aside anybody who's been affected by corona and all that, I'm talking to the people who have gotten their business to a certain level. To them, they're doing well. So you've been looking at your business as a point of you're making a few 100,000s, a few millions. But if you look at the business in terms of how last quarter or the last 3-4 quarters, nothing has changed. Like yes, you're making money, you're actually making good money, but there's no growth now after this level. It's like it's a constant amount. It's a constant deal. They're constant deals. You're a lawyer, you're getting the same number of clients, you're getting the same number of sales, you're getting the same number of amount. Like there is no growth after that. So what next? Yeah, what next? That is what I want us to talk about today. You are there, you have no clue what to do next. And I'm going to hit you with points that you're not going to agree with, some of you. You're actually going to look at it from a very, if you look at it from a very different angle, this will work for you. If you listen to what I'm saying and actually look at it, look at your life, look at your business, your money, everything that you have right now, it will work for you. Now, what is the first thing you should do? For me, first thing you always do is change where you hang out. I have 3 things for you. Just change where you hang out. Look at it this way. From that story, before I was hanging out with, I'm thinking that most people I was hanging out with were not making such amounts of money, obviously. So even the joints we used to go to, I couldn't afford such amounts. Yeah, like let's go to CJ's. Yeah, let's go to CJ's, have a drink or have lunch. And then now you can afford it. Right now, I'm talking about right now, you can afford it. So you can go to any restaurant in Westlands. You can go to Inchinikei and have lunch today, say tomorrow. But it gets to a point now you're used to it because you can afford it. You've been doing it. I've been doing it for months. I've been doing it for months. I've been doing it for a whole year, and it feels like I'm done. Like I'm tired of this, right? The first thing you should change is where you hang out. Don't change in Nikkei. That place is awesome. But the first place you think you should do is change where you hang out. Number 2, change your friends. Just listen to me. Just change your friends. Here's why. And I'm not telling you to stop talking to your friends you have. Don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you to stop communicating with them in any aspect. I'm just telling you, like, you've gotten to that point where you feel like you're stagnated. Look for people who are doing better than you in all aspects. You're driving a Toyota, not a 4x4, Toyota, any Toyota. Look for somebody who's driving a German car. You're driving a 4x4. Look for somebody who can afford 2 or 3 or 4. You're driving, say, a 4x4 German. Look for somebody who's driven them, who owns them, who has so many of them, or can afford so many but maybe has 1 or 2. Look for such people. Look for somebody who has gotten to a point where he doesn't even put any input in his company. You get, like, you've overgrown your own company, so you handed it over to another person to run the whole company for you. Look for such friends. Why? Because anytime you sit down with somebody who's doing better than you, you tend to want more. Yeah? Like you have a house, let's look at it this way. Like you already have a house somewhere, you've bought an apartment, you're even invested in 2 or 3 apartments, or maybe just 1, and all your friends have done the same, or you bought some land somewhere and all your friends have done that. You have a small car or whichever car you're driving, all your friends have that. Look for somebody who has better than that. That's when you realize in this life there's always somebody better than you. There's always somebody who looks better than you, who drives something better than you, who works in a better job than you, who makes more money than you. Everything about you needs to be upgraded. So look for that person. Yeah? Number 3, very, very important. And this will be hard especially for people who listen to other people a lot. Change the person who motivates you. Or whatever motivates you, just change it to something else. Here's what I mean. Some of us have been listening to the same, let me just point it. If it hurts you, I'm sorry, but you've been listening to the same motivator for years and years and years. You've been listening to the same guy talk to you or the same lady talk to you, whichever, whether you've been church, whether it's online or YouTube, whoever it is or whoever it has been. It's time to change that person. Look for another one who's doing better than that one. Yeah? And don't talk to me about I know Elon Musk. I listen to Elon Musk a lot. he doesn't really talk much about in terms of motivation and all that. I'm talking about these guys who actually motivate you a lot, like get up, go do this in business. You know, such people. It's time to look for a new one, and look for one that you can trace. They've achieved this, so they're doing better than the other guy I was listening to. There's always somebody who's doing better than another person, so look for that person. Then sit back down all by yourself and ask yourself, so where do I want to go from here? There's always an answer to that question. I don't know why people ask that question and then feel like, I don't know, I don't know. You ask the question, where do I go from here? And then you're like, I don't know. There's an answer to that. Well, the reason you're unable to answer it is all the noise in your mind. There's too much going on in your mind, so you are unable to answer that question. Yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine earlier today, and he was telling me this thing bothers him a lot. But you see the same oomph. You see what happens. Let me just end this by saying this. What happens with us as human beings is, when we're starting out a business, we want to get away from, like my story, we want to get away from this struggle. Especially we Africans, we want to get away from this struggle. So when things start falling in place, we feel like we've made it. We've actually not made it. You feel like you've made it, so you get to a point where and you get comfortable. You need to be very uncomfortable with being comfortable. You really, really need to understand that. And it's a matter of perspective, based on whatever you do for yourself or you do in life. But you really need to check yourself, check why you grew your business from there to this level. There is where you wanted to go. And don't tell me now you're good. You've gotten 1.5 kids, you have a house, you have a car, that's it. No. There's so much more. There's so many more clients for you out there. There's so much that you can do. Just sit down and ask yourself what you want to do next. Some people get to a point where now they feel like the business is going well enough, so they start doing charity. And it works for them, you know. So find out, ask yourself, remove the noise from your mind and just ask yourself, what do I want to do? And I've given you the 3 points of things that will now open up your mind further from where you are right now, okay? Take care of yourself. Cheers.